But Podesta must be careful. A rotating wheel in the firing mechanism could easily smash his knuckles. He's already weakened the right-hand side of the tree. Now, can he take out the left and center? Every round is striking home. The thumping recoil of the barrel is clearly visible at the muzzle. Podesta ups the firing rate, sensing victory. Success, and they fire just 470 bullets. The potential effect on any enemy is brutally evident.
See, some of the bullets are still stuck in the tree here.
Are they?
Yeah.
Pull some out.
Obviously, what they've done, they've gone through and they've tumbled as they've hit the tree after they've hit the tree.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what it's like when it hits a man, can't you? Mm.
In the decades following 1887, Hiram Maxim sold his devastating new weapon to all the major powers. Then in 1914, Britain and France went to war with Germany. The rest of Europe and finally the United States were dragged into the conflict. This was the Great War, later known as World War I. Millions of men were mobilized. But despite the rise of the machine gun, vast armies were still trained to attack with rifle and bayonet. Armies on both sides had the same objective: to cross the no man's land between the trenches and kill the enemy in close quarters combat. It might seem that soldiers attacking like this would be easy meat for a Maxim gun. But Bob Podesta aims to show that in battle, things are not so straightforward.
I'm looking across no man's land now, and I think the enemy's just about getting ready to attack. Strange looking enemy.
Podesta's enemy is a battalion of 250 helium balloons. Like a First World War infantry company on the attack, they're arranged in rows with each balloon 6.5 feet apart. Podesta decides on the most obvious defensive tactic. He sets up his Vickers gun directly opposite the attackers on the other side of no man's land. Podesta has a single belt of 250 bullets, one for each balloon. The question is, how many can he kill?
Enemy front! Firing now!
Podesta gets his first kills, but this is no turkey shoot. Most of the bullets are finding empty space between the balloons. Podesta must take fresh aim at each single balloon, wasting precious time as he readjusts. And in a real battle, the enemy would be advancing towards him.
What do you reckon? How many do you reckon I got?
30 to 45, no more. There's big gaps out there in them, but they're still going to be coming at us. There's loads left.
This highly trained machine gunner has hit just 37 of the 250 targets.
It's not easy at all. I mean, because the gun is moving, the soldier is moving, and you moving left to right, them moving up and down, etc., and weaving as they're coming towards you, makes it very difficult to hit a person.
Tactics are just as important as firepower. Head-on machine gun fire gives the attacking army a surprising chance to survive in large numbers. On July 1st, 1916, the British and their allies commenced the Battle of the Somme with an attack that crossed no man's land, involving 200,000 men. A preemptive artillery bombardment was designed to destroy the German defenses. But the German machine gunners took shelter in deep bunkers. then moved rapidly into position. By this stage of the war, they had developed highly effective machine gun tactics. Bob Podesta demonstrates why the placement of guns is a vital tactical decision. While the enemy regroups, the machine gun team moves to an alternative firing point on the flank. The difference is immediately apparent. The balloons line up 50 deep behind each other, creating a far greater concentration of targets to hit. Now the true power of the machine gun is unleashed.
Flanking enemy! I'm opening fire!
The result is total carnage. Podesta is even able to shoot several balloons with a single bullet. This time around, 250 bullets make 240 kills. When a machine gun sights the enemy from the flank, there's no escape.
You've got a much easier target because it looks as if the enemy is grouped together that much closer, and you can probably take out 10 times more of them than you would do if they were coming from the front.
In World War I, the Germans could protect a section of trench with just 2 machine guns on the flanks. Each gunner kept a predetermined arc as close as he dared to his own lines. When the enemy attacked, the gunners did not open fire straight away. They waited until the attackers entered the killing zone. The interlocking arcs of fire created an impenetrable wall of lead. The British infantry were utterly decimated by machine gun fire from the flanks. The first day of the Battle of the Somme was the greatest loss of life in British military history. All down the line, the attackers were met by a maelstrom of interlocking fire from pairs of German machine guns. 20,000 men were lost. Attacking enemy machine guns was a suicide mission, and the World War degenerated into a bloody stalemate. Final machine gun casualties on all sides had been estimated at 5.5 million. In the words of historian Sir Basil Liddell Hart, statesmen found themselves puppets in the grip of Hiram Maxim, who had paralyzed the power of attack. All efforts to break the defensive grip of the machine gun were in vain. Now, more megastructures. The heavy machine guns of World War I were so effective that the basic design is still in use today. The U.S. Marines M2 dates back to 1921, but the recoil of the barrel uncovers even earlier roots in Hiram Maxim's invention. At 7 rounds per second, the heavy caliber bullets can penetrate brick walls. If an enemy is a mile away, there's no hiding place. But this battle is no World War I stalemate. The infantry take over and move on the enemy trench. To stay mobile, the attacking Marines must coordinate, maintaining continuous fire to keep enemy heads down. To do this, they need light and portable machine guns, enabling each Marine to fire, then move. After the static trench warfare of World War I, weapons like these opened a new chapter in the story of the machine gun. As an ordnance officer in World War I, U.S. Colonel John T. Thompson dreamed of a new weapon that could be used to infiltrate trenches and kill enemy foot soldiers. After the war, he set out to design a lightweight, fully portable machine gun that attacking troops could fire on the move. Thompson realized that existing machine guns had too many heavy components, and they all needed to go. In his new design, the only heavy moving part was the bolt. In each cycle, the bolt simply flipped out the old cartridge while a spring-loaded magazine loaded the new one. This was the first submachine gun, less than a quarter of the weight of existing weapons like the Maxim gun. Thompson called it the trench broom, a weapon to sweep away the static warfare of the past. Everyone else called it the Tommy gun. The distinctive circular magazine carrying up to 100 rounds could be emptied in less than 7 seconds. But the war was over, and the U.S. Army didn't need such a newfangled weapon. Someone else did. Gangsters. 1920s monsters like Al Capone were quick to spot the potential of a weapon that could wipe out their enemies fast. The Tommy gun became an icon of death and destruction, the stuff of bloody, thirsty newspaper stories and Hollywood movies. It was the must-have accessory for any gangster on the make, and the police were soon forced to get Tommy guns of their own. But the first ever mob hit with a Tommy gun didn't quite go as planned. Spike O'Donnell ran a major bootlegging operation on the south side of Chicago. On September 25, 1925, mob rival Frank McAirlane set out to kill him armed with a Tommy gun and an unknown quantity of ammunition. What happened next gave them both the shock of their lives. Hitman McAirlane missed with every single shot. But bootlegger O'Donnell had seen enough. The Tommy gun was enough to make him quit the gangster business for good. So why was the hit a bust? Former Special Forces machine gunner Bob Podesta explains.
The problem with the Thompson, okay, is that when you fire it, especially the automatic, the weapon tends to rise, okay, and pull away slightly to the right. Okay, the way to remedy this is by putting a little bit of body pressure against the weapon. Okay, and also I've got another little gizmo that will also help remedy that.
Later model Tommy guns were fitted with a so-called cuts compensator. Its invention might have led to a very different ending for bootlegger Spike O'Donnell. The compensator diverts some of the blast upwards, forcing the muzzle down. The Tommy gun became a highly effective close-range killer. And even if a few innocent bystanders were caught in the crossfire, a spray of bullets was just what the bad guys wanted. But the good guys wanted more precision. So Thompson gave his weapon a semi-automatic option, where it fires and reloads just once for each squeeze of the trigger. And that's how the police use a new generation of submachine guns today. And for troops on the battlefield, carefully aimed semi-automatic fire is the best way to conserve ammunition. But they also need long-range accuracy. And that's where the submachine gun reaches its limitations.
It's great for room-to-room combat and close-quarter fighting, But when it comes to long distance shooting, it very quickly becomes inaccurate.
This is because submachine guns use small pistol cartridges, which don't contain much powder. So at long range, the bullets simply run out of steam.